So what do you think? Do we go for the mood light?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, didn't really change the mood, did it?
No, really
Not so much. We'll leave it closed. Look at that. We are still at Baconstock. This live stream, this podcast brought to you by Boost Mobile. I'm with Dan and Jason from Metal Monkey Brewing. You guys are supplying the lubrication for today's event.
We are, yeah. We're 13 Monsters who kind of set up the whole event. They've been out to play here a number of times. We've been friends with them for years, so when they asked us to host, we were all for it.
So I want to talk, I want to dig into the beginnings of the brewery, because the entrepreneurship required to go from amateur or beer enthusiast to brewery owner, it's a big...
It's a huge jump, and a lot of people get into the breweries or working at a brewery, owning a brewery, from the point of view that they like to make beer, and that's like maybe a tenth of what you do throughout the day of actually owning a business. And it's it's a huge undertaking, and it took a lot of effort and a lot of learning on our part from going from home scale to what we're at now.
I'm sure. And how long ago did you start?
Well, I started homebrewing probably 14 years ago now, maybe 15 at this point. But
before everyone else was doing it.
Yeah, before it was cool. I was. But we opened the brewery just under 3 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome. And how did you know you were ready? Were you nervous when you started it?
I was terrified to actually sell our beer to people because I was worried that it was not any good. But our grand opening, we had 1,100 people show up. So, that was a pretty good pat on the back saying, hey, you're at least doing all right so far.
Well, you always get glowing reviews from family and friends. Everybody's like, oh, this is great. You should do this all the time. But you're like,
yeah, that
is
doesn't
that
count.
real, or
Doesn't count.
Not even
smoke?
close, yeah.
Well, and here we are. We're in Romeoville. I'm guessing this area isn't yet oversaturated with craft breweries.
No, there's we're the only brewery in Romeoville. We've got Pollyanna over on the other side of the refinery in Lamont, and then we've got Workforce over in Plainfield. But that's really about it. So it's really anywhere close by.
This is the beer equivalent of giving medicine to the sick. You have something that the masses need.
That's right.
That's an awesome analogy. I like it. Yeah.
All right. So you opened 3 years ago. Tell me about the beers. Tell me the process of just ideation to getting them in the kegs.
Yeah, so there's a lot of beers that we make. Right now we've got 17 on tap, so every beer's got its own unique story and origin and all that. But there's some beers we've been making from when we were home brewers, some beers we've made since we've been open here. Let's see, I guess our newest beer is an Oktoberfest. That one we just tapped a couple days ago, just canned it for the first time a couple days ago too. So that one, it's a beer that Jason and we came up with the recipe for it. We brewed it, what was that, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
And, we've just been kind of getting better equipment in the brewery so we can better regulate the temperatures for the fermentation, things like that, and just making better beer, bigger batches and things like that. So we're at the point now where we came up with a really great beer that we are ready to share with everyone.
So here's my ignorance to the whole process. You have the idea, a beer you want to create. How long does it take for you to know whether or not that idea is good? Because there's the whole process, right?
Yeah.
It could take a while.
It just,
a couple,
you just kind of cross your fingers, walk away for a while, and then...
Well, some of that you learn, I think, from home brewing, and from honest home brewers. You give them something, they're like, that's okay, but, maybe tweak this. Or you make something at home on a small scale, and you kind of learn what some of the different, malts and hops can do for you. And
so there are no surprises when it's ready?
There's always chance of surprise, and you always hope that what you did is you've done it right, but sometimes you just don't know until that 2-3 weweeks is up. And
yeah, there's always a little wild card thrown in there, and you might get something you don't expect out of it. We a lot of times now we'll brew a small batch, but sometimes we're pretty confident in a recipe just from having done it a lot and knowing what we're doing. And so if we come up with a new idea, if we're confident in it, we'll make a big batch of it. If not, we'll make a test batch and then see what we need to tweak from there.
So with so many beers on tap, can you point to one as a signature for the brewery? Like the one beer, if someone walks in, someone comes to Baconstock today, that's the one they should try?
Just one?
That's what I'm saying.
tough.
With so many, it
Yeah.
probably is a fool's errand.
I mean,
but-
there's probably 3 right now I would point to. One of them is our Pineapple Goes Bikini Bottom, it's called. So it's a sour wheat beer with pineapple added to it. That one has been our big hit of the summer.
I could see that.
I've loved that beer since we started making it, but now that we've started canning it, it's even more popular.
So actual pineapple.
Yeah, we use either a pineapple juice or puree in it. When we were on a much smaller scale, we would actually buy a ton of pineapples and
Yeah.
cut them up, puree them up. But now
That doesn't
it's a little
scale.
bit
Not
not
feasible,
feasible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that being great for summer.
Absolutely. And as you're moving more into winter, we've got a beer like our Funky Mucker. It's a chocolate peanut butter imperial stout. That's another one we've been doing for a long time since we opened, and we still get calls when we run out of it. When's it going to be back? I want that beer. Give me the beer.
That's perfect for winter.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
It's a nice dessert.
We're just
beer,
going to stay in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. The other one I was going to go with was Goulet. Does that seem
Yeah.
reasonable? It's a Citra IPA. It's been another really popular one this summer. It's just a nice, refreshing IPA. A lot of citrus flavor to it. Nice bit of bitterness to it, and I don't know. It's just a nice beer.
For fans of higher APV, what would you point to?
Well, it's not on tap right now, but we are rebrewing it next week. Is our big Russian Imperial Stout called Osmodeus. It's 12.1%.
Okay.
That's also one that we annually barrel age and we release usually in the wintertime with a couple of variants. So it's a big, thick stout. We always, in our description of the beer, we say it pours like motor oil. It tastes like awesome.
That's it. There's your elevator
Pretty
pitch. That's all you
accurate.
need. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So your location, you are aware if people want to come find you.
Yeah, our address is 515 Anderson Drive in Romeoville. We're right off of Route 53 in Montrose is the closest cross street. So if you turn down Montrose, you'll see
You're
us
right
right
there.
in the industrial park.
Well, I was saying to Deb and Jamie, I came here from Wicker Park, maybe took 35, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Perceptually, you look on the map, you think, oh, that's pretty far. This is so easy to get to.
We're if you get off of I-55 at Joliet Road, we're just
You're right
a couple
there.
miles down the road.
Yeah,
So.
super easy to get to. So, all right, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, drink their beer at Baconstock today. If you're hearing this on the podcast after the fact, go to the brewery. And you said you're canning it. Is it available at retail?
Yeah, we've got we're slowly growing our distribution, but we've got 10 cans available right now. A lot of them are available at some smaller liquor stores and bottle shops throughout the
Great.
Chicagoland area.
And it'll keep growing.
It'll keep
That's
going
right.
from there, yeah.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
Thanks, guys.